BoomerCast, single season sack leader in OU history. 14 sacks. He says 14 and a half. No.
Yeah, should have been 15.
Should have been 15. That was a hell of a defense, man. That front line, Jesus.
Man, I can say we had a lot of talent. I mean, we didn't win our share of games on the teams that I played with, but if you go down the line of NFL players from that 94 through 98, man, Super Bowl champions, Kelly Gregg, there's a few other, Travian Smith.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people. There's a couple other players.
Darius Johnson.
Sammy Williams, Darius. Rest in peace,
yes.
Darius. Sammy Williams, Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, yeah.
Corey Ivy, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Travian Smith went to the Raiders, huh?
Yeah, he went to the Raiders. And he played in the Super Bowl. Or that championship game. And I want to say, what's that year that I think he played in that Super Bowl year, but they lost.
Yeah.
But those are the guys that I played with. Yeah. And that was and so.
You guys held OU down, man, like especially coming off that probation and.
Yeah.
Like and you guys held it down.
Yeah, the probation. I think people understand what probation really means now. And when you get hit like that, it hurts. It hurts. And it takes time to come back from. And, lucky enough, we ended up with Coach Stoops changing the whole program around and, getting back on our feet. And, with Coach Venables now, we're here to stay.
Did you go through 3 coaching staffs as well? Or was it just 2?
3. Yeah, just 3. Gibbs, Snellenberger, and Blake.
Coach Blake. What was like the big difference there between those 3? Was there a big difference?
Not really, because you got to think when a coach comes in, he's basically just trying to get his foot in the, try to establish his culture.
Right.
And you as a player trying to adjust to whatever he's, bringing his culture. And, as Coach Gibbs, there was a culture already there. But Coach Snellenberger, he changed everything. And then when you brought Coach Blake in, he wanted it to be his culture, bringing back, the old days of Oklahoma. So it was a tough to adjust for a lot of young men during that period of time. But I think we all got through it.
So Kelly Gregg, the best defensive lineman you ever seen play ball?
He's up there. He's definitely in my top 5. He's one of my favorite Oklahoma players.
Yeah, I remember going to the Nebraska game, and I think it was '94. It was like really, really bad weather out, and I think you guys lost 13-10, I believe. But
I think it was something like that. Yeah.
I remember watching Kelly Gregg warm up before that game, and man, he was just a beast.
He's a different type of breed. I love me some Kelly Gregg.
Yeah, it's like wrestling can really help you out in football if you want. If you're a wrestler.
It definitely does. If you're a 2-sport kid, it gives you an opportunity to take your skills and be different on the field.
It's like you use different muscles, right? Like your different muscle groups to do different sports.
You can say that. I mean, you're put in different positions when it comes to your body. When I played a lot of basketball growing up. Nice. And so I was very athletic, and you're able to use your body in different ways when you play different sports. You just don't think like a football player.
Right. So you were part of the self-proclaimed heavy lunch bunch?
Yeah, Grady Jack and Big Norman Hand. Glad to be a part of that group. Got a chance to learn a lot from those 2 guys. Play with the New Orleans Saints. Was lucky enough to have a longevity career to play 8 years. Definitely blessed. Now I'm just at the point in my life where I'm just thanking a lot of people to help put me in that position. Definitely wasn't me. My part was very small to the part that everybody else plays around you.
Nice, man. And so you came out a lot at night, correct?
Yeah, Lawton, Oklahoma, born and raised.
Um, they got some pretty good high school ball here in Oklahoma. It seems like Venables is going to start recruiting more of the state. It seems like he is.
Yeah, you have a lot of kids who grow up watching Oklahoma football, and it's one thing you want to play for Ohio State, Alabama, Florida, but this is where you grow up and raised, and you watch nothing but the Sooners and hear nothing but the Sooners just win.
Right.
And so you want to be a part of that. You want to be able to have your family come down the road and cheer you on. I think with the last regime, they want to change it up, which is understandable. And we didn't lose a beat, but I think now there's a standard that Coach Venables is trying to bring.
Oh yeah, yeah. You talk about that, like the culture and everything. I was talking with Nate Downs, Ethan Downs' dad, and like he was telling me that he thought that Ethan was like fully in last year, and he's like even more in this year. So I mean that could be even.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of scary, man.
oh yeah, yeah, definitely. When you hear a man speak and you can hear the truth behind his words, you're all in.
Yep, that passion, man, that fire, like he just got a fire for life too, and
yeah, you can't fake it, man.
no,
That's one thing, you can't fake this thing. And I think, especially as Oklahoma fans, we can see through the fake.
yeah,
It's one thing, I think we all supported the last, head coach and what he believed in, but there was still something that was missing. And it's that passion. It's one thing, you're just a coach and you can draw up X's and O's, but you want to see that passion for the game. And even through Coach Saban, you can see the passion to this day.
For
it hasn't changed.
Yeah. It gets your players behind you more too, and when they see you taking accountability for something that you might have done wrong, but you fix it, and that's what I like about Venables is he holds every coach on that staff just as accountable as the next guy.
Oh yeah, you have to. I mean, it's kind of that thing. You can't say something, and as young men, we watch you, and you don't hold yourself accountable. And who do we look towards then? And so that's the thing. He holds himself accountable to his actions. He just doesn't speak about it. He is about it.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So I know you guys didn't have the name, image, and likeness when you were playing ball, but what are your thoughts on the NIL?
I mean, I'm for it. I want these young men to get paid. I think right now we're just in a wild, wild west type of atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I like the way Oklahoma is just letting the smoke clear. I want these young men to, be able to make money off their name. And because you got to think other sports and kids in other sports have been able to participate in the Olympics and other type of sports and still make money. And this is the thing we don't know about, but those kids have been able to make money. And so now football players who generate a lot of money are now able to make money off their name and image, which is amazing. But I think now we just need to just bring the rings back and help these kids understand what they're getting involved in. Because it's one thing of just getting a lot of money, but it's what these kids can do with it after they leave the University of Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia, and so on. But I think for right now, I like what the University of Oklahoma, it doesn't make any sense to spend $1 million on a young kid that's 18-year-old.
Yeah.
He's still developing. He's still trying to figure himself out. He still doesn't know who he is, even as a football player. And it's one thing of just, let's get this kid $18 million to bring him to the school. And he taps out and, he gets hurt.
Right.
Where's it in the rules? Is this a guaranteed contract? What is it? There's got to be some stuff that defines itself as this thing plays out So I hope the University of Oklahoma doesn't get caught up in the whole chasing these kids down for a bunch of money. I think what we're doing is putting these young men and women positioned to make money off their name, which makes a lot of sense. Will help them in the future. And that's my whole thing, to where, okay, let's give these young men and women money to when they graduate, they can have somewhere to start their life off or start with their families, you know, and give them enough time to find a job, a career, and to move on into life.
And you know, like $40,000 to $50,000 for the football team. I'm not sure about the rest of the programs, but I mean that's pretty fair, I think, given how much money the football players generate, like revenue they generate.
Without a doubt.
It's
doubt.
insane.
It is. I mean, I think for, you know, if you're fighting for a kid of a caliber of Adrian Peterson, and that those kids are generational type kids.
Yep.
You know, those kids, you can, you know, you could always, you knew the things about Adrian Peterson. He could have left as a freshman and played in the NFL.
Easy. Those
kids are rare. So it's those kids that you see, Jadeveon Clowney, a Myles Garrett. You know, those kids are different type of breeds of kids, but you just can't just throw money away at any child because 247 ranking said they're the number one, you know, athlete in the country, and we need to get them to our school.
Right.
You know, and so that's
you gotta
my
have
thoughts.
that. You gotta have that number one athlete mentality as well. You know, like.
Oh yeah, and that takes time to develop, because, you know, as young men, you know, we got a whole bunch of stuff on our mind, and it's definitely not football.
All right.
You know,
for sure. Yeah. So what do you got? So we're talking about NIL, now we got the transfer portal as well. I was seeing that there's actually a kid that's going to be suiting up for his fourth team this upcoming season. That is insane, man.
Now that you know, it's a part of the whole package, to where we have to put some stipulations and some rules behind this, because a lot of kids are basically, and the thing is, a lot of these kids are frustrated that they're not getting the opportunity that they want to play on the football field. And I understand you know, you're rolling the dice, but, you know, anytime adversity comes, it seems like, you know, I need to run.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's going to make these young men into men, of facing some adversity. And everybody's not going to make it to the NFL.
Yeah.
That's you know, I pray for a lot of these young men. They're going to have to end up getting jobs, you know, because even for the undrafted, the 7th round, the 6th round, the 5th round, a lot of these guys don't realize, you know, you're going into camp, you gotta make that football team.
Yeah.
And if you don't make that football team, most likely you're coming home, you'll get an opportunity to get on a practice squad for another team, but you have to keep making the team. And a lot of these young men got to understand, the first round and down, those guys are vested. These owners are vested in these young men.
Right.
So everybody's not going to be a first rounder. Everybody's not going to be a second rounder or a third rounder. You got to make the team. And now they have a platform to use at the University of Oklahoma and others to make the team. But running from that and hopefully trying to get on and trying to get some film out, hopefully one of these scouts see, you know, you're taking a chance. So
yeah,
all you can say is good luck to a lot of these young men.
Well, and I believe it speaks of commitment issues as well. I know if I was an owner and the draft was coming up and I've seen a kid been to 3 or 4 different schools, I'm going to think twice about bringing them onto my squad, because if things aren't working out, maybe he's going to hold out or anything like that, you know. But I understand, you know, there's certain situations at every university where, you know, maybe you and the coach don't get along, or like something's going on at home and you need to leave. You know, I understand all that, but
yeah, I think go ahead.
You guys didn't have you weren't able to transfer without penalty, were you?
No, you would have to sit out for a year.
Yeah.
And and it's based off the head coaches basically just up and leaving, just like the last coach did.
Yeah.
Last game he's gone. So now that those kids are stuck with the recruiting classes, him going into homes and stuff like that. So the transfer portal was basically based off the head coaches leaving for greener pastures.
Okay.
And so, and I want that child, I want that kid, that young man, to get an opportunity, and find his direction, because it works out for a lot of kids. It's worked out in Oklahoma's favor.
Yeah.
Transfer kids. We can't say that it hasn't. We've had a lot of young men come in and help us out with the program. So
for sure,
it works. But I think now with NIL behind it, now you have a lot of the poaching going on. We have to, just sit back and let this thing just clear itself out. And I think what Coach Venables and his staff are doing, they're taking their time with this and trying to let the smoke settle, because it's like the internet. This thing is changing fluid. And, if we get to chasing, we're going to lose in the end. And I think if we just sit back and just wait this thing out and just let, if the NCAA gets involved, great. If they don't, but we just need to sit back, because my whole thing, I don't want us chasing for championships.
Yep.
That Coach Venables is here. I want us to, he's laying down a foundation that we can prepare ourselves to settle in and compete with Alabama and Georgia when we get into the SEC and with anybody else within the country. And that's the thing. Even if we don't turn out the recruiting classes that we want, he's getting the players that he's vying for. He's putting those fillers out there. He's building those relationships. So I think if we just sit back and be patient and just be, Sooner Nation like we always are, we're going to support our team. I think we're going to have something real good in the future.
Oh yeah, man. You said you're getting vying for players or whatever. It's like he needs to get those big boys that he's going after for the SEC. Like they got to get bigger on the defensive line.
Yeah, on both sides, they have to get bigger, and he knows that. I think for the 24, 25, those are the two classes that you really have to pay attention to. The 23, I think they're going after kids and building relationship with those kids, but you got to think the NIL is in play now.
Yeah.
So it's changed the whole game of recruiting players. And so now, money's involved, different teams are going to be involved. And now it's for that young kid to truly, I want to play with Oklahoma. It's just not about how much NIL money that I can get. It's recruiting that kid in a different way now. Because now the kids is like, how much money am I going to get, coach?
Yeah.
It's like, nah, we don't want you. And that's the thing. Now it's the dynamics of recruiting is changing. Those coaches have to change their whole game plan. So it's going to take, we just got to be patient.
Heck yeah. So can you kind of tell the difference between a college program and an NFL program, just like the way they go about their business?
To give you an example, you would really look at Alabama.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is if you go down and just go onto their website and go to look at their coaching staff and look everything on the outside of their coaching staff, how Coach Venables is putting his staff together, that's basically how an NFL staff is built from head to bottom. He has so many other people doing the little things outside of the program. There's so many people involved in Coach Saban's staff. You would man, these are a lot of people. Coach Venables still has to get other staff members a part of this staff to help him, especially with NIL now.
Yeah.
The transfer portal, they have to build a department for that, because now high school kids, there's a lot of high school kids that are not going to get scholarships. The JUCO kids are going to get left out, because now we're getting kids, we're able to look at this transfer kid man, he's at Ohio State. Man, he's already played. 500, 600 snaps than a high school kid who just, is wondering if he's going to go to his prom or going to come early to school.
Right.
So it's kind of that, which one would you choose?
Right, for sure.
You're going to jump on the Ohio State kid who's got snaps, and just get into the system and let's go, plug and play.
Right.
So Alabama would be that staff, and you would look at Georgia, because now you're able to see how Kirby is built his team. Now you look at Clemson the same way, and now you look at Coach Venables, Ohio State. Those are those schools that are run like basically NFL type programs.
Nice. So it's like Venables is doing with the soul team or whatever.
Yes, that soul team is very big. People won't understand how big those guys are, because NFL has those type of teams to where players are able to go talk to young men who play football, but more than football, they're able to help them with life. They're able to help them. I think I need a job. I need an internship. My mom is sick. Can someone help me? Because it's that thing of, you would run to your coach for these certain things, but there's so much on the plate for the coach. He can't even think straight. But now there's a lot going on. So what Coach Venables is doing is just building a family for these players so they can have everything access to them. And I think, in the future there will be, I don't know if they're doing it, but for mental health, things in that nature to help with these young men on and off the field.
That's big time right now, that mental health. I just like Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's prevalent in a lot of athletes. It's just we need another avenue for these young men and women, just someone to talk to on one-on-one basis.
Have you had any like CTE stuff like in your life, do you think?
I couldn't tell you if I did. I wouldn't say if I didn't, but I'm healthy. I work out every day.
Nice.
Run every day.
Still play basketball?
No basketball, but definitely lift the weights.
Nice. I try to play ball at least once a week, man. Get a couple hours in.
Deal.
Yeah.
Good deal, man.
So you got any good OU Texas stories?
Not really. I'm not a real great storyteller. The best one is basically the year Coach Blake's first year, and we won in overtime with James Allen scoring the winning touchdown.
Yeah, and, got a little revenge from the year before, huh?
Yeah, the year before. So those were always tough battles. I think those were one of my that, and I can remember the Syracuse game, but that game right there is one of those fun games that you just remember.
Well, you got D McNabb a couple times in that game, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
He was pretty hard to bring down, huh?
Oh yeah. You can see. He had a long NFL career.
Yeah.
He didn't just do it to me.
That was my dude, man, for a long time. I'm a big Eagles fan. Like ever since I seen Randall Cunningham play, I was hooked, man. It's good stuff. So we're 8 years in the league, huh? Right?
Yeah. Nice. 8 years, man. Nice. Giants, Saints, Redskins, now the Commanders. Jacksonville.
That's a weird name, right? Commanders.
Not a fan, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And what they changed the Cleveland name to the Guardians, I think, the baseball team.
Yeah, the baseball team. Yeah, the Guardians. Yeah.
So you're in DC? Is that where you're at?
I'm in Virginia Beach.
Oh, Virginia Beach, nice. I think that's where T. Ray is, Terry Ray.
Okay.
He's over there in Virginia too. But I'll go ahead and get going here. But I wanted to end with a who, a what, and a why.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the who, was there like any one person that like really touched your life when you were young and like just pushed you to be a better person or taught you how to be a man, like your morals and values and stuff?
I mean, I give a lot of support to a lot of people, but my mom is number one.
Nice.
I wouldn't be where I'm at in life without her because she was definitely the one who was consistent on, making me who I am today. You definitely need a man in your life, but your mother can guide you in the right way, and you basically just, you listen. And I watched. And one of the things that she was hard work. And anything you want in this life, you're going to work hard for it. There ain't no, shortcuts. There's no cutting corners. Anything you want, you got to work hard for it. And I'm able to reap the fruits from my hard work in my life. And I'm thankful for a lot of people out there, though.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, it's always nice to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, huh? For sure.
Oh, yes.
And so for the what is your definition of success?
Peace of mind. Peace of mind. I think everybody wants tangibles and things they can feel and touch. But as you grow older, in this life, peace is everything, and you can't buy it.
True that, man, for sure. And so for the why do you suppose everybody hates OU?
You know what? I don't think everybody hates OU, but they can get their feathers ruffled when it comes to OU because we are definitely one school that are consistent in winning.
Yep.
And it's on and off the field. I can from all sports. You can look at the Alabamas and Georgias, but if you look at the University of Oklahoma overall, we're always involved in something sports-wise that's consistent in winning. And from gymnastics, golf, tennis, softball, football, our name is in the mix.
Yeah. Yeah, that Patty Gasso, she got to be the GOAT, huh? Softball coaching.
Yeah, she deserves her own statue.
Yeah, she's good. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, and can I get a Boomer Sooner on my way out the door?
Boomer Sooner.
That's right, baby. Only one, baby. Only one.
Only one.
Well, I appreciate you, Martin, and